Hello and welcome to another match preview show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm joined by a very special guest, my good friend Dan, aka Dubul Dee of D&D Football Factory. Dan, how's it going, mate?
I'm all right, Gov. I'm all right. Thanks for having me on again, man.
No problem at all.
Opportunity to, I'll never turn down the opportunity to vent.
I appreciate it. You're a good friend of the show, so I have to get you on, my fellow Liverpool partner in crime here. So we've got to talk about our team. What is going on with our team so far this season?
How long you got, man?
We got all night.
How long have you got?
Mate.
Nah, there's just no cohesion to the play at the moment, man. There's no cohesion to the play. There's no fluidity to be expected to a certain extent because of the injuries that we have as well. But they're just, considering what we did against City in the Community Shield, it's just kind of dragged us into a full sense of security, really. I think because we beat them and we expected fully, to an extent, complacent to be going toe-to-toe with them again. But now other teams have improved. Arsenal have improved a lot. United are improving. And it's going to be very hard this season. And it doesn't help with the points that we've dropped already, considering we haven't got to play any of those teams that are above us. Everyone was going on before the season started like we had a straightforward start to the season and it was going to be easy, but there's no easy games in this league, and battering Bournemouth has not really done anything to how pessimistic I am right about now, because who are they really? Like, I don't mean to be rude, so it's one of those ones where it's just, I just don't know. They're moving. They're having a lot of possession, but it's like they don't know what to do with it. And Salah has been asked. I saw something Pep Linders said the other day about how he believes Salah can be more effective bringing others into play, like hogging the touchline. I'm not a fan of that. I want him inside and doing his thing, because at the end of the day, there's been times when we've not played at our best, and Salah scoring goals has helped, and having much of the ball as possible has helped us get through in certain games. And now that's not there, teams are finding it easy to defend against us. And then with the high line, they're hitting us on the break. Like, though we hit the woodwork a bag of times against Everton, with some of the counter attacks that they had, they would definitely feel that they were well worth the point that they got. And we just need to improve massively before we drop too far behind, because Wolves are always up for it when they play us. And we've got City, Arsenal, etc. coming up. We've already lost to Man United. So I said before, we hadn't played anyone that was above. Obviously, we lost to Man United. So I think sometimes I say Liverpool fans are being pessimistic and melodramatic, but right now I can't begrudge them if they're very worried of what's going on at the moment, because it's not looking good, bruv.
That's like a meme right there. No, you're spot on. I don't think you can begrudge any Liverpool fan right now, because I think it will probably be a thing where right now we probably have a common point of view where our team is not performing well. It doesn't matter if you're FSG in or FSG out. Right now, you look at the team's not doing it. I know when we signed Núñez, we were expected to play a bit different, a bit more of a direct approach with more of a focal point.
Yeah.
But the thing is, obviously, the red card didn't help. So obviously, instead of having stability in the team, that hasn't happened yet. But for me, the big change is the tactical side of our wide players. So Diaz and Salah are playing like old school out-and-out wingers, which is not really how we deploy our forwards. That's why we have Robertson and Trent to use those areas, the flanks, to bomb crosses in. But if you've got two wingers occupying that area, you've got Trent who's coming more infield, but I feel like he looks a bit lost when he's in that kind of area. And then he's rotating with Elliott or Henderson or whoever's playing on the right-hand side. That's not really adding any sort of cohesion between the three players or the triangle in that side. It's the same on the left. I've been saying it for a while. Robertson and Diaz don't seem to have any chemistry. They don't really know how each other works. One sort of like drops back and the other one goes forward, like very old school. And you know, back in the day when you used to play
Yeah.
4-4-2 formation, that's the way they're playing. So tactically, we're not setting up correctly. You mentioned Pep Linders, like that joke man released a book. We're reading all of our tactics and stuff. So he's not even retired, so I don't know what he's playing at. The worst time he calls it intensity, and our team is lacking intensity in our play right now. So it's crazy the way our team is playing.
But even as well, though, it's one thing because obviously the highlight's not going to change. We complain about it and we say
Yeah,
that we should adjust to certain opposition, but stats show how successful it is. We have the most, we get the most offsides, etc. So it's not going to change. And then even when players are presented in one-on-one situations, we have a goalkeeper that's made the most saves, um, one-on-one saves in like the last 3 or 4 years in
yeah,
Europe. It might even be in world football. I didn't when I saw that stat, I didn't check whether or not it was the world or just Europe. But at
yeah,
least in Europe, he's made the most one-on-one saves. So obviously, you're gonna feel like comfortable doing it because you know what's behind you. I've been really disappointed with Van Dijk so far this season, and I'll call him out just like I'll call out any player. Steven Gerrard and John Barnes are my favourite Liverpool players, but back in the day, if they did something, I'll cuss them. When Stevie G scoring own goals in League Cup finals in 2005, I cussed him. But Van Dijk has not been very good at all. And he's the one because he organises at the back, then that's going to cause panic around the rest of the team. Joe Gomez is just coming. This is his first proper run of games
yeah,
since coming back from injury over a year ago. So I'm more lenient with him. But this is the thing though, Klopp's never going to drop Van Dijk though, whereas anyone else could be under threat to be dropped. Like Robertson didn't play on Saturday, for instance. He played a lot through last season and even the back end of the season before with an injury. There were rumours that he was always having to have cortisone injections and whatnot for his ankle, I believe it was. And now he's got a hand injury. If you've seen that splint like
yeah,
on his hand and um, that he's working through. So yeah, he was due a rest. That's the point of having someone as competent as Zimmerkas there. You used them, not just for cup games. You used them when needed. Um, so if I don't know, like we'll go into it properly shortly, but we've not got a good record at Napoli. We've had games where we've absolutely, I wouldn't say played them off the pitch, but territorially have been the better team, and
yeah,
then they've just come and beat us at the end. The scourge of us, Dries Merton, is that kind of Galatasaray now at least, but
yeah,
they've still got some new guys in there that can cause us problems, you know. So
yeah. Let's get into the opposition. So, have you seen much of them this season?
yeah. We I'm always Serie A La Liga. I'm always on it
Yeah,
every week. Um, Napoli have let a few people go. Mertens, I just said, has gone.
yeah,
Insigne's gone to the MLS now. I think it's Toronto that he's at. Koulibaly, obviously, at Chelsea. So numerous people have left. They've got a lot of new heads in there. They've got Raspadori, they got from Sassuolo. Ndombele's there. It's a loan, I believe, from Tottenham. They've signed Anguissa permanently now. He
from
was on
Fulham.
loan. He was on loan last season from Fulham,
Yeah,
and yeah, they got some. But the one that I'm scared of, they've got. I don't know where he's come from. This Georgian kid, um,
yeah.
Kovac. What's he? I can't.
Kvaratskhelia.
Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah,
Kvaratskhelia. I
yeah,
think you pronounce it.
yeah,
He just looks an absolute menace.
yeah,
Absolute. I'd love to have someone like that in the team. He scored headers this season. He smashed in a right footed shot. He banged another one when he come from 25, 30 yards right footed. He banged
yeah.
another one in left foot, bottom corner. He's a problem.
He
Him, him and Osherman against our high line, if Osherman is fit, I'm not looking forward to it one bit unless we defend competently and cut out the nonsense. That is the only way to get through. And obviously, they'll put it, they'll go wide as well, like we do. Marco Rui gets down the left.
Yeah,
Di Lorenzo, we saw, if you don't watch Serie A, you would have seen him in the Euros bombing up and down the right hand side. They've got some good players. They've got some good players, man. It's not going to be an easy game at all. They were top, but Atalanta won yesterday, so Atalanta
yeah.
are top of Serie A now. But yeah, it's gonna be a difficult game. I will take a draw all day long.
Yeah, they've had a great start to the season. They've played five, won three, drawn two with 11 points, second in Serie A, two wins in a row. Like they just beat Lazio on the weekend as well.
Mm.
So yeah, they're in form. We're not the team that's in form right now, so it's not looking good for us. But the kid that you mentioned, Kvaratskhelia, I hope I pronounce his name. So famous his name. So any Georges out there, I hope I haven't offended. But he's a problem, and he's ball-footed. He has no backlift in his shots. Like he can
Yeah,
just
just
bang
smash.
it.
Just smashes
Yeah,
it. No back.
he's the star boy of that town right now. So he's a problem. He's a problem. I can't lie. I watched him a bit so far this season. I'm like, yeah, he's the one we have to look out for. So obviously you've got a lot of like well-known players. You've got, like you mentioned, you've got Oshimen as well,
Yeah.
who's their star striker.
Just
I think,
that I'm not. Look at the way Isak played against us for Newcastle the other day. That Osherman fast, good in
yeah,
the air, decent
direct.
finisher. You get what I'm saying? Just direct with it. Like he just like the look because he's so tall. Just the strides he covers so much ground.
Yeah.
Like that. We've got to be on job. Someone needs to stay back. I know how they want to play catch people offside. Someone needs to just stay back so we don't get caught on the halfway line. Just at least by the centre circle, so this guy can't break through us, man.
No, they got some players in their team though. So
Yeah,
there was one.
Zelensky, Elmas. There's players all
Yeah,
throughout this team, but they can hurt you through the middle
yeah,
or out wide. Last season, they started off the season. They won like their first 11, 12 league games before they
mm,
tailed off. So Spalletti is doing something there. People, he's considered a crazy person and whatnot, but he's doing something, and they're going to be in that title race very, very deep into the season in Italy.
yeah. No, Zelensky, the one you mentioned, he was heavily linked with Liverpool. So
Yeah,
whenever Liverpool are linked with a player, always try and look at see what they're
yeah,
about. He's, I think, progressed since he's been at Napoli. He plays can play as a number 10, as a number 8,
yeah.
effective in both roles. They've got another player, Lobotka, as well, who's a dynamic.
Ibaka's Stanislav's Ibaka's a player. He's a player. I
Yeah.
first saw must be at least 5 years ago now. Slovakia
Okay.
played England
Yeah.
and he scored a bad boy goal at Wembley. And then since then, obviously, like, I've tracked him and that he's a good player, man.
Yeah, recommended by the former legend Hamsik when he was at Napoli as well.
There you
He was,
go.
yeah, so recommended his countryman there. And yeah, I think obviously they don't have Koulibaly anymore, but they replaced a player named Kim who scored over the weekend.
Yep,
Rahmani as well. You've got
yep.
Di Lorenzo.
Decent centre half, yeah.
Yeah, they got some good players. I think Lozano, who normally plays on the right hand side, I think he's not fit to play this week. So
Okay.
I think it'll be Politano who would play on that right wing. But
Yeah,
they've got
Politano,
talent.
Politano, Politano's a decent player as well.
He's a decent player, provides good service from the right hand side. So he's
Yeah.
going to be a problem. But let's talk about our team. Where do I begin?
You sure? I was enjoying talking about Napoli there. Do we have to? No,
Um, where do we start? Because the injury list for me keeps continuing to increase right now. I think in terms of what I've
midfield
heard
options.
so
The
far,
midfield options are limited.
yeah. So Thiago's back in training, but for me, I
Yeah,
hope he doesn't
yeah, that would
play.
be too risky to put after what 2 full days of training. I think that would be
Yeah,
too risky to throw him in with his injury record.
yeah. Jones was supposed to have been fit for this match, but he's got a recurring injury, so they've said
Yes,
he's
I think
out
it's
for a
I
little
think it's
while
a
again.
I think it's a hairline fracture on the bone or something like that.
Yeah, so he won't
Something
be available.
uncommon injury.
Yeah, so he won't be available anytime soon. So our midfield options are quite thin. We've got Fabinho, you've got Elliot, you've got Milner.
I think those 3 names you just said there will be the 3 that start.
You reckon? All right,
Yeah,
let's do our starting lineup. Who would you start for Liverpool?
Who would I start or who do I think is going to start?
Do both. Let's see how different it is. Let's see how
Um,
different it is.
in that case, Adrian in goal. Nah, I'm playing. Yeah, obviously Becker in goal.
Yeah,
Trent right back. I think though obviously Zimmerkas did okay against Everton. What my problem with Diaz at the moment is that Diaz has got a rasping shot on him, but he needs to use his left more because when he cuts inside, it's so predictable what he's going to do, and
yeah,
teams are being able to crowd him out. I know he scored a brilliant goal against Tottenham. So not Tottenham, yeah, no more that the one that was
mm,
that was deflected last
Everton.
season. Who did he score? Palace.
Yeah,
Palace, I think he scored a great goal the other day against Crystal Palace where he cut in and did exactly what I don't like him doing. And then
yeah,
he scored because I was thinking, where are you running to? But then he scored a brilliant goal. But
yeah,
he needs to look over his shoulder more because Robbo, Zimikas first, at least two times he could have found him. And then even when Robertson came on, just making those runs inside, and only once he gave him the ball there. But I'd have Robbo back in for the fact it's Napoli. And then if you want to play Zimikas again for Wolves, I've got no problem with that. But I think Robbo, his delivery and his tenacity is needed, and he would have got a little rest being on the
yeah,
bench for an hour or whatever it is against Everton. Um, Van Dijk in, but if he does not perform again, do not play him against Wolves. I don't care. That certain times you have to let players know that though you're indispensable in regards of
yeah,
the whole team setup and whatnot. If you're playing badly, I can't continue to pick you because what does that say to the rest of the squad? Because Klopp likes to reward people who play good in training, real shine in training, and so that's why sometimes you see odd selections. Like I remember when Harvey Elliott came back last season, he was randomly in the starting lineup against Inter. And you didn't until we got substituted. You actually barely saw that he was on the pitch because we got
yeah,
undone in the midfield. So yeah, Van Dijk, Gomez, fine. Though I know Matip has been back in training as well, hasn't he? But yeah, I'll still go Van Dijk, Gomez. Midfield, as I said, the three I think will be the three that you just named there because of how limited the options are. I don't think Arta would be risked, so I think it will be Milner, which will mean meltdown for LFC Twitter. Every time he's in the starting lineup, everyone's crying. I think it will be Milner, Elliot, and Fabinho. But they need to protect Fabinho better because they're running. He's been off the last 6 months anyway, but they're running him into the ground. And sometimes in the midfield battle, they're leaving him with two or three people. He can't do that job by himself. And then they're straight into our centre halves, and then we're looking like we could concede. Have to
mm,
do better. Have to do better. So I think that will be the three. Um, I would give, and people will be surprised at that because obviously they're talking about injuries or whatever. It's five subs you can make. I would start Arthur just to give something different to Napoli. They would have played
okay,
against him before from the time at Juventus, but I just put him in there and let him acclimatise early. Even if you to play badly for the 45 and people complain, just to let him try to understand his teammates and whatever more, because we're going to need him. There's no
mm,
point in bringing in another body to an injury-prone midfield and
yeah,
then not using them. We can't
yeah,
do like bringing Ben Davis in at centre back and then not playing him. Like, you're lucky
yeah,
you even got 4 million from him. It makes no sense. So he needs to be used because he has good work rate, Arta, and he can pass the ball as well, and he can ball carry as well. We need more of that. Like I watch City sometimes, and I just see De Bruyne carry the ball and lay it on the plate for people. And I'm thinking that because with how many goals Liverpool have, we've got no one in the squad that can consistently do that. That's what
no,
Keita was meant to be doing, but he's always injured. When Ox first came in the 17 to 18 season, that's what he was doing, but then he got injured. You get what I'm saying? So like, just carry the ball, beat him out, just slip the ball through. Now we've got Harvey that can do that, but Harvey isn't even 20 yet, so I don't want us to burn him out. I
yeah,
want him to be a natural progression. Kind of not this too dissimilar to what Man City have done with Phil Foden. So
yeah,
then it will come to a stage where he can start week in, week out, and we're going to see magic because that boy is cultured. Him, Curtis Jones, I believe, can do it. And he was a 10 in the youth setup, but it seems like Klopp wants to make him some Ronaldo hybrid or something like that. And he gets confused whether or not to express himself or whatever. And he looks confused. Sometimes he holds onto the ball too long and whatnot. He's got a good shot on him as well. Curtis Jones should be able to be that guy, but he gets a lot of funny injuries as well. So we need an experienced person who is not injury prone to do that job, and then gradually these youngsters will come in and take over, because it will come to a point. I think Curtis is going to be 22 in like January or
Yeah,
February or something like that. So we can't continue to call him a youngster like that. Like we're talking about Carvalho and Elliot, who are what 19 and 20, and even I think Harvey might be 20 soon. So yeah, them three, and then up top, Firmino. I think we should keep something up our sleeve. I think Nunes should be on the bench and come on after about 55, 60 minutes. And I don't think Napoli will be ready for him
yeah.
in terms of his direct running and whatnot. The space will open up. So I'd go Salah, Firmino, Diaz. But I would be absolutely fine with Jota being in the starting lineup,
Okay.
because like I'm a huge Diogo Jota fan, even though sometimes his link up play leaves a bit to be desired. I just think when he's on the pitch, we look more threatening.
Yeah. No, that's fair play. I'll give you the lineup that I would like to see. I'm not going to try and guess what Klopp's doing, because Klopp's doing his own thing nowadays. Like, it's a bit unpredictable. So but before I do, we've got a couple of comments here. So Eddie's Football Waffle, big up, dude. I'm dropping a like. I see Liverpool getting beat. That midfield looking thin. Thank you, Eddie, for, for the comment. You're not wrong
Ouch.
there, my friend. You're not wrong there, my friend. It is what it is. Isaska Coutura, wash hands 3 times. Okay. Big up Liverpool.
It'll be Napoli
In
3-0, yeah. Energy. I like it.
Napoli being all right, 3-0. You never walk alone. Remember that, Reds. Well, let's hope you're right. I like the optimism there.
That's what I'm saying.
In terms of the lineup that I would like the team to be set up, obviously Alisson Becker in goal. Back four, I'd bring back Robertson, Van Dijk. I'd bring back Matip into the lineup. I'd actually play Gomez as right back. I think Trent needs a break. I think he looks overworked. I know I think the last couple of games he's kind of. I think there was a slight concern. He had I think a slight injury, but it wasn't like a serious injury that would keep him out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like he's been playing with like an injury right now. So I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
why Klopp's taking him off, because Klopp never, you know what I'm saying?
no,
He'll never, he'll always drag Robertson first, because of the sheer fact that Trent could do a madness
exactly.
out of nowhere. Right, Randy Orton, you get me? Out of nowhere.
Yeah,
So yeah, so he would usually drag Robertson first. As you're saying, the fact he took him off speaks volumes.
100%. And I think the reason also is because you saw what happened to Milner in the Merseyside derby. Can't put him on the right hand side because he'll get burnt out by the Georgian winger that we were talking about earlier on. So that's
One of my boys watching said allow Gomez. Trent, he said Trent needs to start.
no. Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. Before I would say no to Gomez on the right hand side as well, because I didn't think he had the sort of the variation in terms of his passing capabilities. But last season,
Yeah.
I feel like he's improved in that area a little bit.
Oh, he's
So
definitely a much better footballer. You can see the
yeah,
way that he controls the ball now and looks up.
yeah,
He's actually played in the last few games some diagonals, like he's been
yeah,
watching Van Dijk and whatnot. He's watching,
yeah.
and some of the last season, some of the crosses that he brought in when he did play right back. So he's definitely stepped up his game in that sense, a much improved uh, footballer. He just needs that run of game, because I believe he has the ability to be a future Liverpool captain.
Yeah.
Joe Gomez, but he just needs to be consistent in his work and hopefully stay injury free, because that brother, I pray for him, man, no joke, because he's had some of the worst luck with injuries
Yeah.
since joining us as a teenager. And
Yeah.
he's a good player. He's a good player, man. Good player. But it's always been stop start stop start. He just needs a run.
No, 100%. So that's why I think for this game he might be suited to playing that right hand side. I think he'll be able to stop the Georgian wing on their left hand side. So
Yeah.
I would play Gomez on the right hand side. Now midfield, that's the one where it's the head scratcher in terms of who I play. I'll actually give Elliot a rest. I think he needs it. I think in the Merseyside derby, I think the game just walked past him. He was a passenger in that game. And
Yeah.
I've been
A
his
whole
fan.
midfield were passengers, to be fair.
I know that it's true, but I feel like in the first half he had a few touches here and there, didn't really do much. Second half, I'll be honest, I did not even realize he was on the pitch. that's how like non-existent for me he was. So, and that's no shade. I've been saying a lot of positive things about Elliot. So I have to say how I see it basically. So I'd give him a rest in this fixture. I'd play Fabinho, kind of out of no choice because we don't really have a number six to really come in. I'd actually play Arta in this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Even
I'd
if it's
play
just 45 minutes, just let him
play
come
for
in
an hour and then
acclimatise.
take him off. Play him for an hour.
And it's an opposition he knows from playing
Exactly.
for Juventus, which is why I suggested that. Otherwise, I would have said no, substitute at best. But because he's played Napoli before,
Yeah,
let him let him do his thing, man.
exactly. And we need a ball carrier in that midfield.
Yeah,
So and alongside him, I'd play every little Liverpool Twitter fans' favorite. I'd play James Milner only because we ain't got an option. And plus, with him and Arthur, I feel like he'll kind of help him out in certain situations
yeah,
where the physicality, if it's too much for him, you've got someone to kind of back you up as well at the same time. So
yeah,
I think that would be a good balance midfield against a very strong Napoli midfield. Up top, I would play Diaz, Salah, and I would start with Firmino as well. I wouldn't start Nunes from the start. Um, I think Italian teams are more equipped to play against strikers like Nunes. They know how to deal with players like that. But with Firmino, he's a he's a different type of player. So obviously, him dropping deep would kind of confuse their defense line. So
yeah,
I think, and the way he played against Everton as well, I feel like he just made things work. He made things tick, where he would find these pocket of spaces around and link up the midfield and attack. And I feel like when we're off form right now, that is what we kind of need. We need someone that's a bit more of a ball player,
yeah,
not just hit it long everywhere or do that old school English football kind of tactics. Like I want to play
yeah,
proper football, so
yeah.
I want Diaz and Salah to be inside forwards. I don't want them to be out and out wingers. I want them to
This is
come in
what
a
I'm
bit
saying.
more.
This is what I'm saying, man.
And Diaz, like you're spot on in terms of some of his runs are quite predictable. So
Yeah,
he needs to show a bit of variation where even if he cuts in on his left,
yeah.
he can always come back out and come back, like show a bit of
Exactly.
skills. You know what
Thank
I mean?
you.
Rather
Yeah,
than
yeah.
go out wide and then come in and then everyone knows you're trying to shoot. But why not come back in and then do like a through ball to one of the attackers? Like
That's
this,
what I'm saying.
give
And
the
even
opposition
that, then
something to
even
think
when he's
about,
not doing
basically.
that, us when he's
Yeah,
cutting there and then going towards like basically running across the box. If
yeah,
not then he's coming all the way back towards the halfway line. So that if Salah's there and then Firm's there, you can't hurt the ball's just gonna end up going
yeah,
backwards.
yeah.
You can't hurt the opposition going backwards,
No,
you know? So options, movement, there's no fluidity and cohesion. We need to get back to what made us great. Otherwise,
yeah.
it's going to be a long season.
It's gonna be a very long season. Another comment from Isaska. Like and subscribe to the panel. Thank you, Isaska. Appreciate the support. I will be adding Dan's channel link in the description after the show as well. So make sure you follow Dan and support his channel as well at the same time. But
We got
you're right, Dan. Yeah, it's not looking good in terms of our position right now. Score predictions. What are we saying?
Ooh. Um, I'd love to say 2-1 Liverpool. I'm going to go 1-1. If we
No.
don't defend properly, I might have to end up going 2-2. But I can't honestly say that we look. If Arthur plays to bring something different to the midfield, maybe. I can't honestly say we look like we're going to score. Definitely score two. That's the thing. So I think, yeah, yeah, 1-1 or 2-2. I'm going to go with 1-1. But I
Yeah,
hope we can nick this 2-1. Don't get twisted. Salah's going to mash someone up real soon.
yeah,
Hopefully it's Napoli. But I know how closely Klopp works with the like the fitness team and the data and the analytics team. So
yeah.
there's going to be a surprise benching, if not tomorrow, definitely against Wolves. But yeah, so you might even see Salah on the bench tomorrow and Diaz and Jota start with Firmino or something like that.
Mm.
I don't know, yeah, because I like these games are coming thick and fast, and I don't think Salah's been substituted yet in any of the games.
No, I don't think he has.
So yeah, he's due a little rest, and sometimes it'll be good for him to sit on the side and look at what's going on, and just play in his head how he can uh, affect the play when he's in there. Because with 5 subs, even if he does start on the bench, he'll probably still get at least half an hour anyway, maybe even more than that. Because I've noticed Klopp is making those substitutions he used to make before in the 70 or 75th minute, or not at all. He's making them in like the 55th minute now. Like Fulham, it was like, right, come on, do this, like get on, you get me? So we'll see.
Yeah. Isaska just commented saying, "How many is our injury-prone boys are back from their injuries?" So Matip is back because he made an appearance against Everton. Jota is back. Thiago is back in full training, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he will play against Napoli. Who else is it, Dan? I think that's the only ones that I can think of
Yeah,
that are back.
Thiago, Matip,
Yeah, and Jota, and then
and
that's
Jota, I think are just the three. Yeah, no Jones just yet.
no Jones is in Keita. God knows where he's going to be
Cater and Ox are long term ones.
long-term
We knew
injuries.
Ox
Yeah,
is anyway, but Cater's won some freak injury. Kanate's a long one out as
yeah.
well. Henderson will be back minimum this time in October.
I think
Prob-
about a month.
prob-
Yeah,
Probably going to be longer.
yeah,
So yeah, it's just negligent, very negligent, not relying on injury-prone players.
yeah,
It's negligence of the highest order. There were so many options out there. No need to make public that you're going for Jude Bellingham, because then someone might come in and gazoom the deal. Nunes has gone Wolves, looking good already after what, just 2 games for them. Uh, Florian Neuhaus at Gladbach, I'm a huge fan of. Um, Played one out in Champions League for the season before. That's played one outrageous pass for
mm,
Gladbach when they played Inter. First
yeah,
time pass, bang, hit it like he was shooting, played it through. That's what we need, a bit of that in the midfield. He's there. Uwa is like, I know his stock has fallen, but they were talking of him going down in Forest until they were able to get a bid accepted for Morgan Gibbs White.
yeah,
It's a carrier. We didn't try to get him until Hendo got injured, so obviously he ended up going to Chelsea, and then we decided to go for Arthur. Um, there's numerous cheaper options that they could have been got them in
yeah.
that could have done something in the midfield, but
The Nunes one
it's what it is.
peed me off.
Yeah,
The
I know
Nunes,
you're a massive fan of his. I know you're a
yeah,
massive fan of Mateus Nunes.
peed me off because he was just like the right profile. Rather than, like you said, rather than holding out for Bellingham, because the whole world knows we want Bellingham now. Doesn't guarantee that we'll actually get him, because it might be the whole Tchouaméni situation where
Yep,
I
Real
feel like
Madrid.
people expected Liverpool to sign him, and then because Real Madrid couldn't get Mbappe, they put all the eggs in one basket and they got their man. So, and look what he's doing right now. So
Oh, he's looking cold already,
yeah,
man.
he is. That's why they let go of Casemiro. They've already got the replacement right there,
Yeah.
ready.
And it's not even like Casemiro's even starting for Man U at the moment, is he?
That's true. Got some more comments here from Ravi. Thank you for joining the show. He says, "Nah, man, Salah ain't holding bench to get a splinter." Milner and Salah are the first 2 names on the team
On the
sheet.
team sheet.
At this stage, I'd probably say yeah, because we haven't got any midfielders, so you're not wrong there. Bellingham ain't coming. If he was, he would have forced a move. I don't think he'd have forced a move. I think Dortmund are very kind of strategic in terms of how they do their business. So if one player's gone, they're very unlikely to sell 2 high-profile players in the first window. So it's like one at a time, basically. That's how they do their business, isn't it? So yeah, I don't think that would have happened, but it is what it is. And then up front is Salah, Nunes, and Diaz. Interesting. Me and you've gone for Firmino. I was saying earlier, I think Italian positions, they're used to defending against big, strong strikers like Nunes. So it won't be a surprise, or they'll be able to handle him a bit better, I think, if he starts the game. However, later in the game, if you add Jota and Nunes in the mix, I think that's going to cause all kinds of chaos. So
Yeah.
hopefully help us get some goals. But
That's what Nunes is, isn't it?
yeah,
Organized chaos.
Professor Chaos.
Tasmanian devil.
I know. He needs to show a bit more composure because even his finishing is chaotic. So
What makes me laugh is that he's going to beat most people in the air, but then when he does, he doesn't hit the ball on target.
yeah, his technique's a bit mad. I'm not gonna lie. Like the way I used to, because I watched him for Benfica. Because I don't know if you like, there was an article about how Liverpool do scouting, and in terms, like the criteria in terms of numbers and stuff. And he was one of the players that was listed like 2-3 years ago. So I already knew about him a long time ago. So I
Yeah,
kept an eye on him. And whenever I saw him for Benfica, I'm thinking this guy's all right. But obviously, Premier League, you know, Premier Division is two different leagues.
those bait stepovers v Barca in the Champions League. You get me? But yeah, no. But look, I was shocked. We obviously, I know it's probably easier for them to package it up and make a proposal to FSG about releasing funds when we've played against the player. Because if you look at what managed against us, etc., look at what people have done, then obviously we've gone in and bought them. Even someone that didn't cost us much, like Minamino, for instance.
Yeah,
Him and Huang terrorised us when we played Salzburg because that first game at Anfield, the 4-3, Haaland was on the bench for that, but then obviously came on and scored. But yeah, I was very impressed with Huang, and Minamino was linking up the player that did well too.
yeah,
So I was shocked that we broke our transfer record on him because I'm thinking then surely you could have bid for like anybody if you're willing to spend that much money. But I understand, obviously, probably look, we played against him. Virgil van Dijk, our best defender, has spoken
yeah,
about how good he was. And then it's like, oh
yeah,
yeah, then let's get him because otherwise, might have been Man United. He might have ended up
yeah.
at, for instance. But yeah, like I wanted a 9, so I've got to be happy with it. Though obviously he can play on the left as well, but I wanted a more polished finisher.
Yeah.
He's a project, and I didn't expect that we'd spend that much money on a project. But I'm
He's
hoping,
raw,
yeah, I'm
very,
hoping
very
to
raw.
God, yeah, very raw. I'm hoping to God that it works because look, 2 seasons ago he was playing for Almeria, whereas some of the other people in his age bracket, the Vlahovic's, the Oshermans who we're going to come up against, were doing it in better leagues than that at that same time. So
Yeah,
hopefully he just comes on and just gradually progresses, and Klopp can interact with him and just make him all round better because his ceiling is higher than those players. But
yeah.
players do not always reach their ceiling. So let's hope that he does get there.
The thing with Nunes, because I know he's already getting like bad sort of views from Liverpool fans and obviously the
Yeah.
outsiders. They're always going to pass in terms of like the transfer fee and stuff. But the team isn't ticking. So Trent and Robertson, they're not providing those crosses. There were games last season where they were just bombing so many crosses. We're like,
Yep.
who you crossing
Yep.
it to? No one there.
And
We don't
Hendo
have a target.
and then Hendo plays that ball as well, doesn't he, to the back post?
Yeah,
Like we've got 6'5" men, or like we've got Peter Crouch, 6'7" guys up there. He hits that one high up
yeah.
to the back. It's like, yo, Hendo, the man doesn't need
There's
to be
no
that
one
high,
there.
bro.
So that's what I mean. So I wanted a number 9, just like you. I wanted a number 9. So I got asked who I wanted. And I actually did say Darwin Nunes, but I'll probably look back and be like, why did I say that? But that was the
It's early
profile that I
doors.
wanted.
It's early doors. He might
It
go
is.
on and hopefully go on to be a world class player.
I think he will do. I think he will do well to you. But right now, because our team is pretty much going through a transition in terms of new tactics, new players, new profiles. Because Mane's gone, so
Yeah,
you've got Diaz, who's a different type of player.
yeah,
You've got Nunes, different type of player to what we've had since Klopp been at the club. But one thing I feel like, and I'm not banging on about it because it's a topic about midfielders, but we needed a box-to-box midfielder as a signing this summer. I'm not going to say names, so I'm not going to say Nunes. I'm not going to say any names. But you look at how City are playing right now. I'm
yeah.
not just doing it as a comparison, but where is Haaland getting all these goals from right now? There's only one source that's giving him those balls. It's Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne put it on the plate for
They
him, but when it's not De Bruyne putting it for a plate for him,
exactly.
his instincts in the box are incredible. We've seen like the Van
Yeah,
Nistelrooys of this world. His instincts are incredible, and the thing
yeah,
is as well is that some of those people, Van Nistelrooy is a great finisher, but Haaland is a great finisher. He can run onto the ball. He can do
yeah,
one-touch finishes and whatnot. But his instincts as well. What did he do in the 3-3 draw with Newcastle? But when the ball broke in the box, he was there to smash it into the goal. That's what I want us to have. So as
yeah,
busy as Nunes is, certain times he has to realise you just have to just stay in the box and let Thiago hit you when he's playing. Let
yeah.
Hendo hit you. Let Trent and Robbo get to the byline and pull it back for you. Because if you're here and they get to the byline and there's no one there because
Mm.
so
But that's the problem right there. He's not had those players around him. He's had Milner being that guy to give him service. Milner's not going to give him that service. Thiago played one or two games.
Milner sometimes
No.
comes
He's
out
good.
with
But the
some
thing is, I
balls.
think Milner's better where he doesn't do it as much now. But before, when he would go into wider areas, he would whip in great crosses, and he can have that variation. But now, due to age and whatnot, like he doesn't have the legs where he can kind of do the dirty work plus that passing variation at the same time. So that's the thing with Nunes. He's not had the service. So I'm not making excuses for him, but I feel like once we have our main guys back in the team, you'll see a different player. Well, I'm praying anyway. So it is what it is. But got another comment here from Ravi. Jude Bellingham ain't the answer to our problems. The kid is 19, can't rely. Think he's the one. Look, he's a special talent, don't get me wrong. But I kind of agree with you as well, Ravi, because we're putting all our eggs in one basket thinking he's like the savior. Like he's the next Steven Gerrard. Like he's going to do what Steven Gerrard used to do for us back in the day. Look, Ox, he's certainly not going to be there next year. Keita, look, I think I've spoken to you outside of like this year. I don't like Keita. I want him gone. So I think that's whoever watches my content, I'm not the biggest fan of Keita. So I hope he doesn't get a new contract. But those two players are gone. And then you've got Milner, final year of his contract, so he's gone. So that's 3 midfielders gone. So that is the area we need to be strengthening. It can't be relied on one new signing. It's got to be at least 2-3 signings. So if Arthur does well this season, maybe he'll be Keita's replacement in the squad in terms of like names and stuff. And then you'll get a Bellingham, and then you might get another one. Me personally, I don't have like high hopes of us getting Bellingham because it's Liverpool. We're run by FSG. It's not as simple as it is. Do you get it? So I would rather us get
if they've broken the transfer record for Nunes, who's to
yeah.
say that they won't do it for Bellingham if that is
I
the
don't
one
want to see where he's the only signing. That's what I don't want.
But but we've done this in the past, and it just worked. That's how we got Van Dijk. It was like everyone was like, "Oh, what?" So if Southampton are not going to let him go, why don't we get another centre half? And we stayed there. We got Van Dijk.
Yeah.
We spent that big amount of money on Alisson because though we bought 5 past Roma, we saw from scouting him from all the other games around that he was a good enough goalkeeper, and he's more than proved that. So that's just how the Liverpool way is.
Yeah.
At the moment, that's how Klopp is, and obviously with him signing the new contract, there were surely talks in regards to transfer policy, etc. Otherwise, surely he wouldn't have signed just because of the facts solely. I know it was a huge reason behind it. Ola, his wife, it wouldn't have just solely been Ola was like, we can't leave these people. You're going to talk through. You're not going to come in and be, oh yeah, I'm going to sign because my wife told me. But I want to know all the other bits as well, and then obviously then I can put forward that my wife was in on it as well. That we've got to stay with these people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because like, which has allowed us, even though we almost won 4 trophies last season, to relax a bit more because we've been panicking, thinking who the hell is going to take over from Jurgen Klopp? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the man that I want to take over from him, because I don't think Stevie's ready yet, will surely be snapped up. Graham Potter will surely be snapped up by the time it comes to that,
I think you mentioned that in the last show we did together, and that's not a bad show. I think if people questioned it when they saw the last show, I think it's proof now. Guy's got something, you know what I mean? So
Only thing is that though he does play four sometimes, it will be
yeah,
very interesting to see how he operated with three at the back. With the fact that when Klopp's contract finishes, Trent will still be a good age.
yeah,
Robbo would be into his 30s, though it will be interesting to see if that was the case. But that's obviously hypothetically speaking, because
yeah, of course.
we have absolutely no idea who's going to be Liverpool's next manager. You get me? But yeah.
No, as long as not Pep Linders releasing part two of his intensity, build, then we should be fine. But yeah, it is what it is. But Dan, thank you for joining the show. Let
Always a
everyone
pleasure,
know.
man. Always
Let
a
everyone know
pleasure.
how to follow you, where to follow you on social, and your channel as well.
I needed to vent, so it's a good look. Yeah, at Double D on all social platforms. That's DUBULDEE. And as Oz said, I'm part of the D&D Footy Factory, and we go live on Top FM 95.5 FM in London on the Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Uh, yeah, on Top FM. Sometimes do some podcasts as well. We'll have some coming up, but yeah, 10 a.m. Saturday morning. If you're not in London, probably best to listen on the TuneIn radio app or the Simple radio app, because otherwise the reception might be a bit mad for you if you're out of London. But yeah, or if you've got a DAB radio, obviously as well. Um, Probably best to listen on there. And if you're an FPL head as well, I've got a weekly FPL blog on my blog page. That's on my website. That's danzigzags.co.uk. FPL, European football, some Liverpool stuff on there, and anything else at the time I'm feeling it might be wrestling or whatever, or music, whatever, up there as well. You know.
No, that's great. Yeah, send me those links as well, and I'll definitely share it in the description.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
but yeah, but yeah, thank you, Dan. Hopefully we get a good result tomorrow.
hopefully.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
I'll be
But
betting on it. I'll be betting on it. 2-1 Liverpool.
definitely. But yeah, thank you again for tuning in. And guys, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with some more content this week. I'll be doing a match preview show on Thursday for our game against Wolves. I might even do a match reaction show tomorrow. If we lose, then probably on a little bit of a rant, but it is what it is. But yes,
That
take
bloody
care,
Milner.
everyone, and see you guys very soon. Good night.
Nah, so.